Okay, so for anyone who watched my uh the previous VOD to this one, I was muted for 12 minutes. So I figured I'd make this a really quick one to explain what I said because it seems like it would be the right thing to do. And I am totally a professional in a class act and refuse to make scuff content. I paused there so everyone can get their laughs out. All right, let's go. Um Dynasty just won the fights. Where are they going to hold? Well, Larissa wants to have her back to the fights, to the environment, staging area, etc., whenever she can, as much as she can. So where, right, because she doesn't want to get surrounded. So where would that be? Um, this is a spot where she could hold. This is a spot where she could hold to poke a bit, right? And then she would fall back. But this isn't where you say we're fighting from this position. That's not something conducive to Orisa. Um, Here wouldn't be bad as well because again she can poke. Um, and yeah, this wouldn't be a terrible spot. Because she the left staging area um isn't it's possible, but if they want to engage from there, that's a lot of resources they would have to commit. So that means they would have to come from main and top right, and those are like top right isn't easily accessible. Um, so this actually wouldn't be a terrible spot. And then after that, points right as the last spot, but point really sucks um, because you can't see anything, right? Um, but that would be the final rotation, and just as we'll see, Arista just sits here and hugs up against this wall. Um, yeah, and so we'll see why she's actually safe when she does that. When it totally looks like she isn't. Um, Kree now will be on an off angle, or like we'll be holding an angle along with Torb. The Torb swap is like what does it do versus again over a Hanzo swap or over the Hanzo pick. Um, Less threat from a distance, but more sustain on the dive. So like it Tracer, or if it's just Tracer or Sombra, that's um pretty hard for them alone to take down a Torb. And if they were to still engage onto Torb as a dive team, he would still take a bit more to kill. Unlike Hanzo, where if they just successfully dive him, he's dead. Right? He has double jump, but that's it. Right? And so Torb also has angle contestation with his turrets. Um, so yeah, Torb has those things over the Hanzo. Um, the hunters are just going to they're going to take whatever space Dynasty give them. Setting up and moving through here should be fairly easy, just because there's a lot of cover. But they do want to still get their Brig and Zarya and Zen relatively, to where they want, especially the Brig and Zarya. They need to be close. So obvious spots where close would be, depending, it just depends on where they want to engage the enemy team. Through here wouldn't be terrible, right? There's just cover all the way up until you get to around here. So that's also something they could do, or this way, right? Um, but down main is something they can't do just because there's two poke heroes, right? There's two spam heroes. Or the Dynasty comp is just spam, right? So they want to be taking cover as they rotate. And so we see Dynasty or Hunters taking that rotation to through the hallway. Tracer setting up to the top left, so we could maybe think that um, there's going to be an engage right here, in hopes to force the Orisa or the team just this way, right? So Zarya and Brig can get into the action. Um, but maybe Zarya also, like if they do want to engage here, Zarya could come here. It's bit, it's a bit of a walk, but It's not, it's not just straight up in the open. There is cover here, and Orisa will be uh busied with Tracer against, dealing with Tracer. Okay, and Jinmu is now on Hanzo. Right, so that's what they do. Zarya Brig walk over. Um, Ball Tracer engage, right? And they now rotate this way. So now we have an interesting look for this team. What does this look like? Like, what does this allow Orisa to easily do? She can easily get surrounded here. And that's what Dive wants, right? But the caveat is that even though it looks like Orisa can easily get surrounded, and she will be absolutely surrounded, um, here's the trade-off. You have Kree contesting an angle, and you have Torb contesting an angle, and you have Bap contesting an angle. If they were to actually try and kill Orisa, they would die to Kree and Torb and Bap. So, and we'll see, they have to honor and respect the fact that there are angles to contest. And they completely, like, for the most part, ignore Orisa because they have to take care of these angles first. So they were going to go on to a soft engage here, but Tracer got a headshot, poked out, and then a headshot. So good job by Fitz. Then and Zarya, Briggs, and they're around here. So here they are engaging the Orisa Diva. Let's see how it goes for them. Didn't go well, right? He left the angle free, and we said in the Ilios Lighthouse where, like, that's a play you can do. Is to just ignore the spam angle or the angle and try and kill the core. And that might have been like they had Tracer Pulse, so I would argue that that was a risk that they could take just because Tracer Pulse Bomb can chunk down an Orisa, especially if you get Golden out. Along with Zarya. Okay. Along with Zarya, Zen, and Brig. But it's very risky, right? You're leaving Kree, Torb, Bap alone. And so Ball just does a soft engage here because he loses Tracer. So he's just going to live back here, and they set up again. Diva covered the angle, and so did Kree. And they killed Jinmu for it because of it. So the next fight. And so Tor Spam wins the day over the Hanzo. All right, so unfortunate, but the rest of the team is still set up and ready to go. Unfortunately, Tracer took some pokes, so she's low. Right, look what hunters are doing. Look at what hunters are doing. They're walking right past the Orisa.
Pass into the iris.
Tracer blinks past and goes for a post bomb in the back. Zarya walks right to the back. They're engaging backline. It's what you have to do. Orisa has been sitting here. She's totally safe, right? Because her team has her surrounded. They've made this this little protective shield around her. The right angle's contested, left angle's contested, and she's just sitting here. She's in their backline. Orisa is in their backline, but she has shield up back to the wall. And they can't do anything to her, right? They're fully engaged in the backline because they can't do anything to the Orisa. So they left Fitz alone, and he's getting value. Yeah, Zarya went to the back line, looked for a grab. Ball's in the back line. trying to get something. Like they went for a back line to try and get something that way, and then they'll take care of Orisa if they're able to succeed.
Nerf this.
Right? It was pretty cool. Let's see if we can see that a bit better. Yeah, like right here, like this is what Orisa was doing this whole time. Just literal back to wall shield right here. And there's nothing they can do. And we saw that they pad all the way from here. All right, they dropped whatever, went to backline. All right, you have to take care of the angle, no matter what comp. Yep, no matter what comp, this is what you have to do. Always take care of the angle. Anyway, that was my short bits on this part that I missed earlier. See you guys next time.